Oh, hi there, and welcome to my studio. I'm Nathan, creator, writer, artist, dreamweaver, and I'm here to talk to you about me and my game, Guard Duty. So sit back, grab yourself a cup of tea, and have a very jolly nice time talking to me. Well, you're not talking to me, you're listening to me, but you get the point. On to the questions. Originally, I started designing and doing backgrounds and little bits of concept art for the game around like 2006. It had the name Guard Duty at that point. That's probably the only thing it shares in common with that version of the game now. And it featured a short little guard dude who was a bit podgy. In order to kind of really nail that feel of the 90s, we decided to go with the 4x3, 320 by 240, low resolution pixel look that games like Monkey Island had, Full Throttle, those sort of things. I found myself playing these games, really enjoying the worlds and the characters that were in them, and sort of just getting inspired along the way. It was just like a little hobby thing that I was doing on my own, and then Andy decided to get involved because he was really interested in it. We both grew up playing adventure games together. And yeah, when he came on board, it kind of gave it this real push. Like he'd sort of set up all these really nice speech bubbles and all these back-end systems to the game that I would never have been able to do. There's Richard Stevens, who's a musician that was based in America. I worked with him remotely. He produced all of the songs for the entirety of the soundtrack, so we're talking 36 or 37 unique composed musical tracks for the game. We also worked with a guy called Chris, who handled our Mac and Linux ports, so he came in at the end after the game was finished and helped get them ported over to those systems. Typically, creating a background for Guard Duty would take me anywhere between 7 to sort of 15 hours. Sounds like a real long time. It is quite a long time when you have like over 50 scenes in the whole game. The problem is I was detailing every background pixel by pixel, trying not to use any modern techniques for creating the backgrounds, just sticking to the techniques they used in the 90s. So the game starts off in this town of Wrinklewood, which is like a kind of small town with a castle and everyone knows everyone, and it's quite humble beginnings, but then the character ventures out into the wildlands, which is like a big sprawling wilderness. And then they venture up north into the northern region, so you've got like this snowy, ice-capped region. But we also have some sci-fi elements in the game, which those of you that have played the game will know about. But there's kind of a dystopian sci-fi timeline that ties in with the fantasy stuff. I was making a fantasy game that I really wanted something different to be in there, so I wanted to try and elevate it above other fantasy games in as far as storyline and give players something a little bit extra.
I need to get out of here.
So you have Tombert Rofskin, who lives in Wrinklewood. He's a guard of the castle of Wrinklewood. He works the night shift at the castle. He basically looks after the place when everyone's sleeping. Lovely guy, enjoys a drink, isn't always taken seriously by his colleagues in the castle guard. In the game, he goes on quite a wild adventure. There's also Agent Starborn, who is the protagonist for the dystopian sci-fi future. He's a member of the resistance group, the Guardians of New Haven. They're trying to overthrow a demonic evil overlord who is ruling over Earth. That's the cool thing about like making games and the designing part is you can do them anywhere. It generally starts off with thinking of an obstacle, something to sort of stop the player, something they need to overcome, and then evaluating what's available to them in the world and what sort of things they can interact with and thinking how they could come into play for overcoming this obstacle. It's nice because you've got a lot of different options in an adventure game. You can talk to characters, you can pick things up, and some adventure games you can combine items, but we decided not to have that in Guard Duty. We wanted to streamline it a bit. Guard Duty has this massive expansive world and lots of different locations you can go to, and some of them you don't even have to do anything on them, you're just walking between them, but it like enhances the feeling of being there. So I did the voice acting on a budget. Being a small developer, we didn't have the luxury of lots of money to throw at voice acting or like hire studios and stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of it's like bedroom recording. So I set up a DIY vocal booth, which was basically a big old cardboard box. I filled it with some pillows and a duvet and shoved my microphone in there. And then you basically, you throw the duvet over your head, stick your head inside a box and speak. And the microphone picked it up and the pillows would dampen the sound, so it'd like stop any ambient sound. We've got an old man in the game who sounds like he's close to death. Only that which I've seen in my youth.
There's Tomber. Tomber is the main character, and he talks like he's from the West Country, like he's from the Shire, from Lord of the Rings.
I'll have you know, I work for the Wrinklewood Night's Watch.
But then we also worked with some voice actors and actresses remotely, which was a lot easier really, because I just sent them a script and then they would send me really great takes because they're professionals and they know what they're doing.
It all started with a book. An ancient tome my bloodline has kept secret generation through generation.
I really like the decorator who works with the troll. That was voiced by a voice actress called Erica Sanderson, and she did a fantastic job.
Folk will believe anything if it's written down.
I also really like Sam from Sam's Completely Useless Trinkets. So that was voiced by Sally Beaumont, who is a fantastic voice actress, and she did a great job as well.
Sure. Always got time for my paying customers.
Doing the Kickstarter and being successful and having all these people give me money and thinking like I didn't give them anything. Well, I have now, they've got the game. But at the time, there's no promise of them getting anything in return. It's just good faith from people thinking, this looks cool, have my money to help you make it. Proud kind of, there's a term that kind of centers around me. I wasn't like proud of myself, so to speak, but I was just really chuffed that we went through that. And then I was obviously proud when I released it and I was able to give all those Kickstarter backers their copies, and then a whole ton of people came from all over the internet, all over the world and bought the game, and like started leaving reviews and sending me messages and stuff. And yeah, that was a pretty good moment, releasing the game. We were super lucky to get this game out there after working on it for so long. I mean, like I said, I originally started designing the game in 2006. That was ages ago. And it took a whole lot of personal development. It took a lot of focus to get it done and a lot of work. There was this fear before releasing it that everyone was going to hate it and it was just not going to go down well at all. Thankfully, people liked it. I think we were really targeting a niche. We were targeting people who like adventure games, but also people who like retro adventure games. So it was very much, we had to please that market, and if they didn't like it, then it would have been a failure. But yeah, we got some great reviews. We got some good coverage from some pretty big websites, which was nice. Will there ever be a Guard Duty sequel? Well, never say never. There's actually an Easter egg in the game which no one has found yet. It's hidden deep within the game. Like, I made it ridiculously hard to find. And it does kind of suggests a few things that might lead to a sequel. But yeah, don't go looking for it. You won't find it. It's ridiculously hidden. But yeah, there's potential for a sequel at some point. But for the moment, I'm kind of done with that world because I spent so much time on it, and it's nice to have that finished and a complete story. You can find our website at sickchicken.com. It's probably the best way. Go to sickchicken.com and we've got like all our social links along the side of the website. And buy Guard Duty on Steam. Just type in Guard Duty on Steam and you click the buy button. It's not even expensive, it's cheap, but it's fun and you'll enjoy it. So yeah, go and buy it. Oh, hi. Welcome to my studio. I hope you enjoy your time listening to me talk about myself. Should we do it again? Oh, hi. I'm Nathan. And today we're going to talk about me for quite a long time. I mean, if you want, we can do 5 versions. Also, quite a big fan of Sam from Sam's Previously Owned. It's not called that. Sam's Previously Owned Trinkets. That's Sam's. We gotta do that again. Sam's Completely Useless Trinkets. Probably the best you're gonna get out of me. I'll do the intro once more because it's quite important we get that right.